that they're not infallible.
Now, how does that impact the Turkish team, though?
I don't think they care. I don't think they care.
No, probably not.
I think they come into this still thinking they're the favourite, still thinking, I think in the back of your head you're thinking maybe the circle wasn't very favourable for us. It was really difficult to run down that hill. And
they just wanted more screen time.
They never get a lot of screen time when they play these tournaments.
They win too quickly. Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, I'm sort of expecting this game. I still would put Turkey as favourites over the whole series, but I think that this map now particularly is going to really set the tone. And I think a really good start for Turkey would be if they could shut down that little group in Paradise or what.
Wow.
Does Turkey just set up on the bridges here and just stop Russia from crossing at all?
Nah, they'll. Well, Russian players making their way north around. There were a few Russian players who were kind of isolated. Now I see one more kill coming in. Voldemort finds Surike. It's not squeaky, but it's kind of squeaky. But you see, there are a few Russian players who are by himself. There's no reason for him to push anything here.
Yeah, but it's very risky for these, this little group of Russian players. I mean, yes, he might be able to strike here and get it knocked, but if he just gets traded like that, there's no one to support him. And suddenly it's a 2-man advantage for Turkey because the res will come in. So if all these individual players from Russia that you say are in the circle, if they get shut down by Turkey before the rest of Russia can come join in, we might get to a point where Turkey has such a big man advantage that it doesn't matter.
And the same way, maybe even worse than sitting behind Quarry because they can't really go in the water. I mean, there's nowhere else for them to go. So I feel like it's up to Turkey to really decide where this fight takes place. Because if they're going to push on them now, then, well, obviously Russia has to make a stand.
Yeah, and you can see from the mini-map in the bottom right that Turkey look like they want to push this compound. They're sending a lot of players towards it. And realistically, this group of maybe 6 or 7 Russian players in a really rough spot to try and shut this down. This nade, I think get rid of Rip here is going to be really important to the overall fight. And yeah, that nade's not going to go through the door. Round 2, anyone? Ooh, Kasich almost killed his teammate. And actually, he gets taken down from the other side of the road by Kun Marco. These stragglers starting to get shut down now. There's an opportunity here for Turkey to open up a 10-man advantage before the rest of Russia comes from the south and joins in. It's really looking shaky right now for the Russian team.
What are you going to do here, Rip? Just looking around. Knows that opponents are somewhat in the nearby vicinity, but don't want to go full-on over-aggressive on it. Set. Tags up a few, and yes, the
impact on these compound fights that are going down right now, then there's a risk where you become sort of a has-been, a bit of a... you might as well be a tree, if you're up on that hill, not hoping out in the fights. This way here. Great example of what they're doing.
Yeah, they need to make a play here, and I think that's again where I guess Ukraine is a good example of giving up space when they never had to. Take a stand. Say, you know what? No, we'll fight them here. We're not going to get a better spot to fight them than what we have right now, and that's I feel like what Turkey has done. I mean, they could just have sat around waiting for the couple of more circles to go, but they say no. Let's take the fight now, and I think that's a smart decision.
And it's kind of about reading the room as well for Turkey. They know the reinforcements are coming in. So, even if you've got a smaller group set up in a fortified position, that's maybe a 60-40 for you. But if the other group comes in and hits you from behind, suddenly it becomes a 60-40 for the other team. So you kind of have to go for that aggression. You have to take the fight against the compound. And the fact that they had that overwhelming force allowed them to open up this 10-man advantage because they could overwhelm the little fortified compound. And all of a sudden it becomes in a position where realistically I don't think Russia has a way to win this.
No, I mean a 5-player deficit, 6-player deficit, we saw them turn that around last game, but 10 players at this point and they don't have the circle. I don't see it happening. The only way that it could potentially happen is that there is, I want to say 7 or 8 players from Turkey up on the northern side who are somewhat isolated, but they have a massive influence up there given that they're kind of what's holding off the east side of the Russian team.
Yeah, there's an opportunity with an eastern shift where Turkey gets stuck down in the valley and, Russia gets to shut them down. But if you get to the point where, let's say it's 25v15, 25v10, it doesn't matter how many players Russia has on the hill because Turkey will overwhelm them. I think this northern group we see coming in towards the Lakawi area might have a big impact on this game because maybe they can wrap around on the eastern coast. If they can get a little bit behind the hilltop, there's an opportunity where they can pincer that and really shut down what little defense Russia has left.
Well, it's right now it's Turkey playing compounds and Russia running around in the open, and for how much longer I'm not sure. We are almost at a 2-for-1 in terms of numbers. I feel like Russia won't be able to win this, but then again, I mean, I said it before as well. It is Russia. They have some damn good shooters in between them, and if they can position right and maybe get a good shift now, then I want to say there's still a way. Let's see. Circle allows for the Russian players to be in, but the vast majority of it is in favor of Turkey.
Yeah, you can wrap around the south if you're Russia. You can use the Kampong Hill to get around in the circle. But then when you cross that road, I think that's going to be a really tough point for Russia. Trying to get across with Turkey controlling the northwestern side of this map already, it becomes really difficult for Russia to get anywhere beyond where Pokemon is. So I kind of feel like now Russia needs to try and identify a fight where they can at least temporarily have a man advantage whilst the rest of the reinforcements come in. And if they can overwhelm that position before the rest of Turkey is able to join in, if they can limit it to something like a 17v17 whilst the other 12 turn up from behind, maybe there's a timing they can get, which helps out. But if you're making individual plays like this with Pashkes pushing the compound alone, you're just going to feed a bigger and bigger man advantage in Turkey's favor.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work, and that's normally not the way we see Russia play either. It's like they tend to be really smart about not having players go out and do kind of their own thing. So I think this kind of tells the story of how somewhat desperate of a situation they're in.
Yeah, you have that little group of Pokemon, Goose, and Zorv coming around the side, but Kalendor's shut down Goose Red. It gets a flush as well, and that just really neuters this group. 2 players really can't have an impact on a flank. You need a group of 5 or 6 to do that kind of thing. For it to work out. And you just see it right now. I think there's a plan in mind for Russia where they're coming around the west, but it kind of feels like there's no coherence. You see elite player Batin Alia stuck in camp point. You got Flak on the hill doing nothing. It just feels like Russia's almost run out of ideas and trying to make these little desperation players. There's losing another player here or there. And as they get picked off, the man advantage grows. Turkey get more confident, and it becomes less and less likely for Russia to win this game.
Yeah, it's straight on 2-for-1 now in terms of the numbers. And I mean, Russia, they've been moving around in the center, and now they're starting to sweep the northeast side as well. You can see there's a full squad going on there. And it will be a, 9 versus Flag, then 9 versus 2 and Alia and a teammate. Then it's going to be a 9 or 8 versus Quissy and Deep. I don't see a way they turn this around now at this point.
Yeah, the only way they could have for me is if they were grouped up as 14 and they found a timing. But the fact that they've now spread out so much, I think sometimes these players might be able to get 2 players down before they die. But if you're trading,
the flushes won't come in.
Yeah, that's the big problem. Yeah, you really can't get flushes when you're playing solo. And we just see now, you see the kill feed. Solo's getting picked off, 3 go down in a row with no answer from Russia. I mean, yes, you're going to get 1 here, but instantly gets knocked. No flush comes in. So, I mean, a great performance by Turkey. I think proving the power of teamwork, proving the power of the death stack, and the fact that they split Russia in half. I think by that group that was on the north sort of got stuck for Russia was really the win condition for this for Turkey.
That's
it was an anticlimactic second shot.
First one was good, second one not so much, and therefore he didn't get the flush either. He's going to be taken down. DS falls as well, and I think this is going to be GG, at least in terms of this one. So despite the fact that Turkey proved to be mortal after all, not gods, merely demigods, they will be able to respond swiftly with a win in return. It's I think it's good for them, and I think it's good for Russia, to be fair, as well.
It also means that it also means the series extends beyond the question mark map of Sanak. This is the last time we'll see this map now, so maybe there's an opportunity for, if Russia's actually better on the bigger maps, despite the fact that we see Turkey win this, maybe Russia's still pretty confident because this is the last time we see it. But I kind of feel like maybe Erangel was a bit of a red herring in terms of the fact that because of the circles were very favorable for Russia, that was really why they won it, more so than a strategic sort of ability. So maybe this is a sign of things to come for Turkey. A 27-0 victory is ridiculous. It's one of the stronger games we've seen.
They just lost the game. I mean, I don't want to say. I mean, yes, the first circle was favoring the Turkish team, But I feel like Russia rotated pretty well into it. Second one was pretty even. Yes, you're forcing the Russian players into the open with minimal hard cover, but it was still playable. So it was last game